there.
Hey, hi Tammy.
Okay, little couch time. So, hi, Ange. Um,
Hi Tammy.
I'm Tammy Lowe. This is Angela Brancato. We work together. Yeah.
Yep, we're going to talk about all the things having to do with putting together an anthology and why it's such a phenomenal experience for both
Yeah.
for us, selfishly for us, but
Yeah.
for the authors as well.
Yeah. And I feel like there's so many things that make it different. So when people hear anthology, they might think, oh, $2,000 and I get like 3-page story in with 150 other authors or something like that. And like they hand it in and they never edit it themselves. And I'm just going on a tangent here. But what we do is I think it's so different in a lot of ways.
This is not that for
This
sure.
is not a vanity thing. Like they
Hmm.
actually call it vanity publishing, whatever.
Hmm.
It's not that. It is not that. There's this thing called expressive writing. Have you heard of this? And this is kind of what we do. It's like healing your past and letting your stories go by writing them out and seeing them clearly. And it's just a different level of looking at the stuff that we carry.
So what brought you to this? What brings us here today?
Oh, good night. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, I wrote a memoir, but I wrote it for like 5 years and it was the whole story. And I had all these journals around me on my desk for years. And I didn't miss a month in writing it. It was a slog. Anyway, I was bored reading it after it was done, printed the whole thing out, all of it. So I threw it away and I just rewrote a little memoir. So I learned by doing. I took a lot of classes, but I learned by doing. And like everybody doesn't want to know everything. They want to
Mhm.
know, how is this going to be helpful to me? Because I have like no time to be reading. And if it's not good, I'm going to set it down. I'm never going to pick it up. So it has to be about them. It can't be about every little thing about your life, right? So
Mhm.
that's how it started. And so I published the smaller one in 2018, and it was very
And I read it and it was outstanding.
good. And we should say like
Mhm.
how we met. You want to go?
We belong to this separate online platform. We live in different states. We did not know each other. And Tammy is a phenomenal life coach on top of her other talents. And she offered free life coaching as she was getting certified as a life coach.
Mhm.
So I took her up on that. I had just retired and I was looking for my purpose. And so I had a few sessions with Tammy and she blew me away. She's just so insightful and so helpful and really helped me to like look inside myself. And then
Mhm.
separate from all that, after we finished the coaching, I don't know, months later.
Yeah, yeah, months later. Yeah, it was even before we met up. So we had never still met in person. And
Mhm.
I asked you, hey, I'm doing this thing. Me and a bunch of friends are going to put together this book. We're all going to write our stories. And it was the first time. And it was literally just a group of friends. And
Mhm.
that's what became Brave, the first book. So I asked you to do it. And then, like a year later, we did meet up actually in person at a conference in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right. But the
Yeah.
important thing is, I had always wanted to be published, and I
Yeah.
didn't know exactly what I wanted to write about, but it came to me as we were talking and working with the other authors. And these were other people that were strangers to me, complete strangers. And
Mhm.
what a phenomenal experience it was. I ended up talking about writing about my first year of teaching and how it changed my life. And the other authors had completely different stories. Not, like everybody's story
Oh,
was
yeah.
unique and unique in its own way. And it was definitely a very cathartic and emotional experience, I think, for us at different points in different ways. And Tammy likes to say, I finished my story in a week. And she,
Yeah. She literally was done with her story in maybe 10 days. And,
mhm.
twiddling her like she had nothing to do for 7 more weeks. So I just asked her, hey, you seem to know what you're doing. Could you help me edit this one? I'm having a little trouble over here with this one. And so that's how it happened. And then before you know it, we're like side by side doing the editing equal time. with these authors, and that was magical. Like we just had this groove and it worked, and I liked what your brain was giving, and you liked what my brain was giving. So
But even more important than that, though, was we had to establish relationships with the authors. Like you said, you're already friends with them, but they didn't know me. And
yeah,
it's hard to have somebody critique your work and your deepest thoughts and emotions. And so I think we connected with them well, and they
yeah,
felt comfortable. And so after the initial kind of shock of somebody critiquing your feelings and your thoughts,
yes,
there we developed this trust relationship, and that helped them to get to the end of their story, to really to put out there what
yeah,
they wanted to. And I know you agree. We got a lot of gratitude from them at the end because we pulled things out of them that they didn't even know was there. Because
yeah,
when you're writing for yourself, another person from the outside reading it might be, well, what about this or what about that? And you already know it because it's inside of you, right? But
yeah,
the readers might not know. So as we
yeah,
read their stories, and we'll say, well, can you talk a little bit more about this? Well, how did this make you feel? And so they really came out with just such a full, fleshed out story, and it helped them actually even examine their own feelings about things that they hadn't maybe explored before. So
yeah.
I think that was really important to them. And then we went on to the second book, and I think the experience was even better because we'd had the opportunity to do this once already. So you could
Yeah, we had a
talk
system.
about
It was very systemized, but I also want to say too that I honor your ability to edit, to read, to understand, to be compassionate to the writer. And I think we both do that. Um, and we also do things on the side. So we have done some editing for other people outside of this classroom container that we've built. Um, and all of it is just yummy. All of it is just delicious. Anything associated with words, we're Wordle buddies. Like we Wordle every day. It's just fun to be around you, and I like watching you with the other authors.
and same. I mean, and it seems to pick up that sense of cohesion, on this joint project seems to happen pretty quickly, pretty early on.
Mhm.
And I think people get more out of it than they ever anticipated that they would. And
Yeah, well, that's a great point too, because there's everybody's going through something like on the daily. What we're doing is writing about past stories usually. Sometimes they're happening still currently, and that's a whole different issue to get that on paper and process that emotion. But then even after the book is done, these people are they've been accountability partners with each other. They contact each other for support. They go through additional hard issues after the class is over. Like you've made a friend. You've not made just one friend, but this group of people, and you've shared this kind of intimate, somebody's always crying. It's probably me, but others, were crying during our class time sometimes. And it's just, you have a bond. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that.
and lest somebody get the wrong idea, it's not like we're doing therapy, right? You're not life
No.
coaching during it's like a class, and it's
Yeah.
instructive, and there's all these
Yeah.
resources and a lot of feedback. But I think we cry for each other. A
We
lot of
cry
times
for each other.
somebody
Yeah.
will be telling something that really hits us in our hearts. And
Yeah.
so the strong feelings, I think, are the compassion we have for one another.
Yeah.
It brings up all the feelings. It just does. And because that's what the series does, is that their experiences that bring us together, not just the writers but the readers. I talked about divorce in the last book. You may not have been through that, but as a woman, as you go through different stages of life, um, we identify with one another in the different experiences that we have. And so
Mhm.
it's very unifying as a group, and very gratifying once you get to the end because you have this book that your name is on, and it's yours, but it's ours.
Yeah, I have them. So this is Brave. This one looks like it's on fire in the ocean. And then this is Face the Sun. And there's a glare from the window, but you can see it. Anyway, it's
I
cute.
can see it fine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And on the back, you have the pictures of the authors and the description of their stories. And I would love to see, like, I can't wait to see who's going to be on the back of the next one. We have some writers that have already signed up and they're raring to go. And I anticipate anticipate their stories because I already know their topics.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know who else is coming. So it's always interesting and fun to put together new people. And we all seem to come together for a similar purpose.
Mhm.
And we're gracious with each other and kind, and that's so nice.
So this represents an invitation to
Oh
anybody
yeah.
that's interested in being a part of the next anthology, or if you know somebody that you think, oh my gosh, this person has to tell their story.
Yeah.
And maybe we can give the listeners an idea of some of the stories that have been written. I mentioned my first year of teaching, it was in inner city Los Angeles. My second story was about the experience of being divorced after growing up in a very traditional family and parents with a long-term marriage, and how that just completely transformed my ideas of who I was
Yeah.
and as a woman, you know. So what were some of the other stories about?
We've had like illness stories, cancer stories. We've had mental health stories. We've had, and believe this word, like suicide stories. We've had stories about eating disorders and growing up very poor and like um, not having enough food as a child or love as a child. I mean, that's kind of um, there's a lot of different reasons for pain, I suppose, and we've had almost every kind of topic. But
But but
but
as the titles reflect,
yeah,
Brave and Face the Sun, they end on a positive note. It's
yeah,
the person's journey through that difficult time to a place of hope and to a place of optimism and contentment or joy, or wherever you ended up at the end of your
yes,
journey. They all end on a positive note. So while it sounds like, oh my gosh, this is heavy stuff, it is heavy stuff.
yes,
But it just
yes.
shows the power of the human spirit can get us through anything.
Yeah, I would say there is absolutely no point in airing your dirty laundry if you haven't learned from it. Like when you learn wisdom nuggets from your own life, and sometimes we dig those out too. Like perhaps you think you got it, but maybe we can get a little bit further in that process, and like we're really writing at the end a separate little nugget of gratitude. I'm so glad that this thing happened because I learned blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So powerful for yourself to learn from your life and to learn from other people's pain. It's so good.
And you said about airing dirty laundry. I think the motivator for all of us has been since day one, how our experience can help somebody else going through something similar.
Yeah.
And so it's not so much here, this is all about me and this thing that happened to me.
No.
It's really wanting to help people that are going through something similar and struggling. And
Yeah. So
I
this
think
is
that's the driving force.
yes. So I'm creating this thing so that we can help the writers, right, with their own lives, but thereby we also help all the readers who read that book.
Mhm.
And that the ripples of that we will never know.
Right.
So
And
good. Well,
uh,
thanks, Ange, for coming on.
Well, thanks for the invitation. And if anybody's interested in our books, of course, they could be found on Amazon. So you could flash the covers again so they could see the titles.
Wow. Look
Yeah.
at you, Miss Marketing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, if you want to get a flavor of what the books are like, it would be good to go on Amazon and check them out. So,
Yeah.
and just real quick, just as far as professional background, I have a degree in English. I was a teacher for many years. I went back to school in my 40s and became an attorney. And then at retirement was really looking for my next passion project. And so here we are.
Here
And
we are.
yeah.
My background is in psychology and human development. Then I became a life coach after going to IU for creative writing for a little bit. Like there's just a handful of things. When you put them together, this is kind of like the perfect result of all of our experience. So
Yeah.
good. And I would say too, having two editors, two professional editors, you would have to pay so much more for that kind of service. We basically just we don't work for free, but it is a passion project, right?
And you have an invitation for this weekend for something
Oh
being coming.
yeah. Y'all get me so raw. So I'm doing a workshop Ange and I will be there, and we're going to give you the 3 things you need to start your memoir. So to start it and to get it done, like these 3 things will get you to the finish line. It's everything that you need to know.
And
And
it's free.
the workshop is free. The link is on the website. You'll see it on my social media, all the things.
And there's no
Have a
obligation to join the anthology. It's just
yeah,
you're putting it out there as a
workshop.
service. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally separate from the class. This is a free summer workshop. I'm going to do it every year. There's a little workbook that goes with it, and I'll give that to you when you show up. If you have to miss it because you're busy and you want the replay, just register at the website and you'll get the replay.
And what's the website?
What's the website? You are so good. TammyLowe.com/coach.
And it's TAMILOWE.com.
Yes.
Yep.
Lots Anything I missed, Ange?
I don't think so. You did great. You did great. This is why we're so good together, right? We
I'm
make
like
it
half
happen.
the human and you're the other half the human, and together we're just like perfect.
Yeah. But it's a great experience on so many levels, and we would love to have you join us if you're interested. And if you have questions, you can also reach Tammy on her website as well, right?
Oh yeah, anytime. Or DM me on the socials, whatever.
Right. Yeah. So ask questions, get the answers.
There's no stupid questions. Okay, we'll see you later.
Bye.